Welcome to We're Right Here. I'm Karen Richards with CMB Bank, and today we have Kevin Starliper, CMB Bank's Senior Vice President, Chief Lending Officer. Kevin, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Not my cup of tea, but happy
No,
to
but
be here.
you'll do great. I have no doubt. So, 30-ish years in the banking industry.
Yep.
Most of that or all of that in community banking?
Um, that depends. And whenever I began, I didn't know what community banking was.
Okay.
And whenever I started, most of the local banks were truly community banks. They had local board of directors, local decision making. It was only after 4 or 5 years in the industry that we started to see some consolidation, some of the bigger banks coming in and acquiring some of the smaller banks. So at that point, yes, I knew that was not for me. I wanted that community banking touch, that local decision making.
Yep.
Yep.
So, how did you get your start in banking?
So I graduated from college, got married, and realized I was in retail and realized that was not what I wanted to do. It was beginning whenever retail stores was going to be open 24 hours a day.
Yep.
The holiday season, I hate it. So I knew that I needed to make a change or I was going to be locked into to retail. So the day after came back from the honeymoon, started a job as a teller. My pay was half of what I was making in retail, but best decision I made in my life.
Yeah, and now you've built a
Yeah,
career off of that. I don't think I knew
exactly.
you started in retail.
Yep.
But like me, I also started as a teller
Yes.
and
Yep.
have grown a career in banking.
Absolutely.
So what was your first position? So you were a teller to start
hmm
and then just kind of advanced through the ranks after that?
Yeah. So I was a teller for about 6 months. The president of the bank I was at, um, ironically, knew my family through retail. His brother was a retail manager at the same employer I was at, and I had two brothers in the same retail store as well. So um, he knew my family, knew my work ethic. He created a position for me, kind of loan review,
Hmm,
which what was a little daunting because here I was, all of whatever 23 6 month banking experience, and I was supposed to be telling these experienced lenders, "Oh, you missed this or you did this incorrectly on a loan." I hated that. so
right.
uh, so I did that for a few months, and then a consumer loan position became available, and did that, and just kind of went from there. Then,
Kind of went from there.
yeah.
So what's kept you in banking for 30 years?
Uh, I really enjoy it. It's nothing like helping folks, whether it's buying their house or starting their business, or just giving them advice.
Yeah.
That is what keeps me going. I love driving through our community and knowing,
Mhm.
hey, I helped that business and it's still there, or I helped finance that development in those houses. People are living there now.
Mhm.
It's a great feeling.
I was going to ask what's been the most rewarding part of your career, but that's probably a big part of it.
It is just being involved in the community. Banking has allowed me so many opportunities to give back to the community, not only from the true banking side, but especially at CMB, they're exceptionally. Um, they want their employees to be part of the community. If you're going to be a community bank, you have to be part of the community, and CMB encourages that and supports us for doing that. So,
Mhm.
um, just the different organizations, it's allowed me to give back.
So tell us where you currently serve as far as your community service, your board.
Yep. So right now, I'm on the Chamber of Commerce board. I'll be the president in the 2027
Yep.
calendar
Mhm.
year. Also, I serve on the Fire Board, which is one of these organizations that you really don't know about, but it affects everybody in the community.
Mhm.
And also a member of the Noon Rotary Club as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So your calendar is about to be really full in 2027 with the chamber
In
position.
27, yes, it is going to be a little bit fuller than it is right
Yeah.
now. Yes.
So tell us a story. What was maybe a loan that you had a part in or a request that you received that really made an impact on the community and has stuck with you?
Uh, sure. So, obviously from privacy reasons, I
Mhm.
can't get into specifics. But again, just knowing that as I'm going through the community, I can look and say, hey, I was part of that. Most recently, there was a organization that we had a loan with. They was building a new facility. There was some cost overruns. It was a challenge to get them those additional funds, but we was able to step up to the plate and do that. And now that that facility is built, they've had the grand opening. It's going to be there for many generations, and that's what community banking is
Mhm,
about. You're there in the good times, but you also can be there and help out in the bad times as well.
mhm.
Everybody's want to go through those cycles.
What do we say? Bad things happen to really good people.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, if I can tell a personal story, um, you probably know what I'm gonna say for myself and my family. So, I started in the bank 20-ish years ago. Um, Ended up with a child that was had special needs, was sick, had to leave the bank. I spent weeks, close to months in the hospital. My husband had to take a job out of town to pay the bills. We came up on some really hard times and had trouble making our mortgage payment. At the time, I guess, were you doing mortgages back then?
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of everything at the
You were
time.
doing and
Yeah.
probably do a little bit of everything now, but
Hmm.
yeah, you were doing a little bit of everything back then. But you went to bat for us and stepped up for us, and I truly believe we would have lost our house during that time because we were caring for our son. There was no
Hmm.
way to keep up with all the bills, and
Sure.
so that is something that obviously I will never forget, but impacted us personally, and, it's just another example of community banking, and you
It,
can make those decisions based on the situation sometimes.
yep, absolutely. And that's the other thing I love about community banking, at least at CMB, the organizational chart is so flat
Yeah,
that I feel like I really have a say in the
yeah,
direction of the bank. I have a seat at the table, so to speak, and
right,
that means so much.
right. That's one of my favorite things about community banking, especially CMB Bank, is that we're just so accessible, and so you talk about our community work, but then also for our employees, our leadership team is
Yes.
so accessible. My other favorite thing about community banking is just the opportunity for growth,
Hmm.
and you're a perfect example of that, of how you can build a career through the banking system.
Yes, yes. As I mentioned, starting out from, a teller into loan review, consumer lending, a short stint as a mortgage lender,
Mhm.
and then into commercial banking, and now leading the commercial banking division. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
How's the year been?
It's been a solid year. With the economy, interest rates, tariffs. I think a lot of people have a wait and see attitude.
Mhm.
But overall, a solid year, and I'm so proud that our growth is really local growth.
Yeah.
We're not, chasing deals outside of our market area. We're within the footprint pretty much of our banks. So
Mhm.
that's really it's a sense of pride, actually.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. So, are you to the point where you're kind of projecting 2026 and what that might look like?
Yep. Our CFO just sent out an email
Yep.
yesterday wanting some budget numbers for 2026. I have to get with the gang and see what they think they're going to do and get those back to Joe.
So, what are the challenges the commercial team is facing today, and what do you think that looks like for next year?
Yeah, specifically, it is obviously it's competition, and it's
Mhm.
not necessarily competition from your local banks. It is competition from the fintechs,
Yep.
from the credit card companies, even things like Amazon, Walmart. I mean, they all pull dollars away,
Mhm.
and that's a challenge for us. Net interest margin, and I don't want to get too much into banking, but that's another concern. With the interest rate volatility, rates went up so fast a few years ago, and now they're starting to come back down. Gathering those deposits. What a lot of people don't realize is we need those deposits to lend back out to
Mhm.
our community, um, and that's a real challenge right now.
Mhm. So, I was going to ask you about technology, but what you said kind of answers that question already. So, thinking about technology in the commercial team, how has it changed the way that you prospect your customers or identify potential clients?
Yeah, so whenever I began, I would characterize most commercial bankers being what we call order takers. They was just sitting at the desk, the
Yeah.
phone would ring, customers would come to us. Um, and it was kind of a 9 to 2 job, 9 to 3
Hmm.
job, not 9 to 5 job. These days, it's pretty much 24/7. With cell phones, you're constantly on the call. You're taking those calls. People want that immediate feedback, that
Hmm.
response back. I think that's one of the biggest things, and then just the transfer of information. I can remember plenty of times when clients would bring in stacks of paper tax returns, and you'd
Yeah.
be at the copy machine
Yep.
copying those
Right.
tax returns. Now it's a press of a button. You send an email, and within 10 seconds you have all of their tax returns. Those are some of the big changes we're facing or have faced.
Yeah, when you started off by saying you left retail because it was becoming 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, banker's
It,
hours are not the same as they used to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is pretty much 24/7 now.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah.
So we've been in banking, you and I, for a long time, and
Mhm.
at CMB for a long time, and seen lots of changes. What do you think the future of community banking looks like?
I think community banking obviously is always going to have a place. What we see some consolidation of some of the larger banks, but I think communities still need that community bank.
Hmm.
But having said that, it is going to be technology driven.
Yeah.
Um, we're going to see the introduction of AI
Yep.
into community banking,
Yep.
more analytics, trying to um, serve our customers better, still having that personal touch. But we all know, a lot of the younger generation wants that technology piece.
Hmm.
They don't want to have to come into a branch.
Hmm.
They want to be on their phone and transact however they want. So how do we communicate to those folks? I think that's really the change and the direction what we're heading into.
Hmm. We have to change the way we've done things and
We
adapt
do.
for sure.
Hmm.
So, for someone that's looking to get into community banking, specifically commercial
Hmm.
banking, what advice would you give them?
Ah, it's I wish more people was trying to get into
Yeah.
commercial banking.
Hmm.
Really, what we say at our shop is you have to have that personality. You have to have people skills. You have to be outgoing. You want to be able to build relationships, connect people. What we can teach the banking side of
Hmm.
things. We can teach how to read financial statements. We can teach the technology. It's those communication skills and those relationship skills that we really are looking for. And mm, it's becoming a little bit of a challenge. People
Yep.
texting, that they're not having that face-to-face communication as much.
Yep. There's that technology again. It's
Yes,
changed really everything.
it has.
Yeah. So, have you had any mentors along the way?
I've had several, and mentors are great. Some nuggets that I've taken away from mentors is one, always do the right thing. Um,
Mm.
you can't go wrong by doing the right thing, and sometimes the right thing is saying no. Sometimes the right thing isn't popular,
Mm.
but it lets you sleep at night, and
Yeah.
that's critical. The second piece of advice is don't always be the smartest individual in the room.
Right.
So, and that's a good piece of advice. Let other people talk. Let them express their ideas. You don't have to be the one that's always has to be right or be the one out in front making suggestions. Let other people talk.
Sometimes it's okay just to hang back
It
and
is.
take it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, if you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be?
In this business, it would be it truly is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Mm.
Whenever I, especially got into commercial banking, it was you have goals. You want to do well. You want to prove your worth to the company. Um, but sometimes taking it slow. It's different than a lot of industries that you go out, you knock on doors, you say you want the business, but it could be a business you end up not wanting. So
Right.
just because they're willing doesn't mean we're going to do it. So I think just taking it slow, realizing that um, there's going to be a tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't give up. You keep knocking on doors, and things will be okay.
Yeah, that's good advice. I always say I would tell myself just to give myself some grace because you're gonna mess up,
Hmm.
and that's okay, and like you said, there's always a tomorrow, and
Yep.
learn from the mistakes and keep going. So, let's see. Looking back on your career of a little over 30 years, what are you most proud of?
Again, it goes back to being able to give back to the
Yeah.
community. My son is a local school teacher.
Mhm.
Uh, I feel like a small part of what I've been able to do over my career has helped keep him here
Mm,
locally, and that's important. What we hear about it, especially in the rest of West Virginia, the young talent moves away.
yeah.
I think here in the Panhandle, we've been able to keep some of that young talent, and I think that's a direct result of um, community bankers, people willing to give back to the community. It truly takes a village, and we're so fortunate to be in the Eastern Panhandle. It's fantastic.
Mhm. Yeah, it sure is, and when I was looking over our questions today and trying to prepare, and I was thinking if someone asked me what am I most proud of, I'm glad you brought up your son. You hope that you're passing these positive
Hmm.
traits down, right? And that they stay here locally and that they have kind of looked up to you in your career and can kind of model what you've done over the years. So I'm glad you brought him up. What's one thing about your job that might surprise people?
Um, I think it's one how much fun we truly have at CMB. I mean, it's a family atmosphere. We really enjoy it. Uh, Two, I think a lot of people don't understand how challenging the job can be. I mean, I know my siblings think I have the easiest job ever. They because all they see is some of the Facebook posts
Yep.
about you're going out, you play a little golf, you're at these events, you're doing, going to dinners, and they think that's all it is. They don't a lot of people don't understand that is all part of the job.
Yeah.
It is fun, but it is part of the
It
job.
is.
So, back to the 24/7,
Yeah.
there's something that could be going on every night of the week that you can attend
Yeah.
if you so choose. And that's and to be successful, you have to build those relationships, and I don't think people understand that.
Yeah. You do. You have to be out there all the
Hmm.
time. So you mentioned the fun that we have at C&B. So give us some examples. I know recently there was a donut eating contest.
Yeah,
Did you win that?
I did win that actually. You can tell by my waistline. Yeah, it was I think Donut Day, and
Mhm.
Will Shelton, our branch manager there at Spring Mills, had bought some donuts, and some other people had bought donuts, and by 3 o'clock there was still a couple dozen left. So he suggested we have a donut eating contest. It was limited to 5 minutes. And I was able to get down one or two more donuts than he was in that 5 minute time
You
span.
won the title.
I won the
You won the
title.
title. And
Yep.
now Halloween's coming up. That is always a fun day at
It
C&B.
is. I've been sworn to secrecy. I can't
Yep, yep,
reveal
can't
what
tell.
our Spring Mills theme is going to be this year, but that's another fantastic time.
Yep.
Employee appreciation days coming
Mhm.
up.
Yep.
We always enjoy that. We have at the Spring Mills office, we're having a chili eat-in. People's bringing different types of chilies in, so it is a very fun and family-oriented atmosphere.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch the podcast a couple episodes ago with Owen Elliott?
I haven't watched Owen's yet. Owen is a new commercial
Mhm.
banker with us,
Mhm.
but I have not watched his particular podcast
So
yet.
he talks a lot about you, and how proud he is to be on the team and working under your leadership. But he also talks about your philosophy with dress code and name tags. So tell us that.
Yeah, so I'm old school whenever it comes to dress code. Usually every day I'm in a suit and tie,
Mhm.
and I feel whenever I was first came into banking, that sort of was the dress code, and I know we've become more casual over time, but I want to show the respect to my customers and clients. They're trusting us with, in some cases, their life savings, their business. I feel more comfortable if I'm talking with them in a
Mm,
suit and tie, and I'm not sure why that is, but I just do
mhm.
as a sign of respect
Yeah,
back to those
yeah.
customers. And then our name tag. We have a fine if you don't have your name tag out at public events. We give you fine $10 if you don't have your name tag on, and then at the end of the year we take all that money and we donate it to a local charity. So
Yeah.
it's a fun way to make sure people are wearing their name tags,
Mhm.
and it's a little thing, but it makes life easier for whoever you're meeting.
Right.
If they forget your name, it doesn't create that awkward situation.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think you're known for
Yeah.
always being dressed to the nines and, of course, for the name tag fund.
Mm.
So, if you weren't a banker, what would you be doing instead?
Oh my, and I have thought about that. I don't know. I think I would somehow be involved in real estate.
Hmm.
Do a little bit of flipping and rental property. So I think I would maybe do a little bit more of that.
Mhm.
Um, I tell myself I think what I would love to have is a uh, kind of a farmers market, but
Yeah.
not just vegetables, but local cheeses, meat products, fresh bread, all under one roof,
Uh-huh.
where you can come in and kind of get your gourmet foods
Mhm.
all at one place, and I think that would be good. I'm a little bit of a foodie, so uh, that fits my hobbies.
And you garden a little bit now,
I
right?
do. I garden a little bit. Try to do a little hunting,
Yeah.
fishing, cooking.
Mhm.
It all comes together for a healthier lifestyle.
There you go. So
Other
as
than donuts.
other than donuts, they don't count. Yeah. So being a foodie, what's your favorite local restaurant?
So many of them.
Yep.
I think a little hidden gem that I'm not sure a lot of people know about is Crosswinds out at the
Yep.
airport.
Mhm.
I think they have a great atmosphere. Seeing that planes come in, food is fantastic. So that's one I enjoy going to. But we have so many great
We
local
do.
restaurants.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
What's your favorite West Virginia getaway spot?
Yeah, for me right now, it's the whole Canaan Valley,
Mm,
Blackwater Falls, Davis
mhm,
area. I enjoy that. Just the beauty of it, the nature. And it doesn't matter what season you go up there.
mhm.
It's a great place to be.
Did you travel state parks this
Uh,
summer
uh
or camped or
we did. We went around and we hit a couple of the state parks.
yeah.
We went to the New River Gorge.
Mhm,
Did the bridge and all that. So. Uh, the state has so many
mhm.
things to offer, so many beautiful locations. I need to get out and experience a little bit more of those.
Yeah, I think sometimes we don't even experience what's right around us
Hmm.
here in the Eastern Panhandle
Oh
just
yeah.
because it's right here. We don't take time to do it.
Yeah.
So give us something that you've learned from one of your clients that stuck with you over the years.
Um, be proud of what you do.
Mm,
Most business owners are so proud of their businesses that they want to talk about those things. We as bankers should be proud of what we do
mhm,
and want to talk about the good that we do and the products that we have. Obviously, we're a for-profit institution. Um, we shouldn't be ashamed of talking about the services and the products that we provide. To anyone. I think we do our customers a disservice if we don't fully let them know what we can do for them.
mhm. It's important to tell our story.
It is.
And like you said, the business owners, they want to tell theirs as well.
Absolutely,
Mhm,
absolutely. So I think that's my big takeaway. I don't own the bank, but I
mm,
feel like I have an ownership interest and an obligation
yeah.
to tell that story.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So without, of course, giving any details, can you give us an unusual loan request you received?
Yeah, and this was early on in my career, and it was at another institution. But a gentleman came in, and he had an antique jade frog collection. These was from China, very, very rare, very expensive. And there's an auction coming up where he wanted to buy more of these antique frogs. And we're not talking, $200 for a frog. We're talking, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this was, in the early 90s. So he had catalogs, and I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea the
Mm-hmm.
value of these
Right.
things. Fortunately, he wasn't the high bidder on these things, because I'm not real sure how we would have been able
You're
to have
right.
completed that transaction, because he wanted to give these frogs as collateral, and it was just interesting, but I'm not sure how we would have accomplished that.
Definitely the most unusual loan request.
Most unusual I've had,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. No, I could see that. Not many requests for frog loans.
Right.
Anything we've missed before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so. I've enjoyed my 25 plus years here,
Hmm.
here at CMB. I hope to finish out the career. The organization has been so good, supporting me both from an education point of view, and just again that community involvement. They're so supportive of getting out and being involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, last question. If you were to get a tattoo, what would
hmm
it be?
It would be live for a living.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yep, I think we get too wrapped up in job titles as to what we do and how we're identified. I think we need to go out and just live.
Hmm. Just
Yep.
live a little bit more.
Yep.
Yep. Great advice.
Mm.
All righty. Well, that does it for this episode of We're Right Here. Kevin, thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
We'll see you next time.